Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
I don't know what it is that makes me love you so. I only know I never wanna let you go. 'Cause you started something, you see, that ever since we met you had a hold on me. It happens to be true. I only wanna be with you.
Hello, I'm Phil Catchpole and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast. On the show this week, we have all the action and reaction from that game against Peterborough United at Adams Park, plus Adam Cooper, the Wycombe Wanderers fan, joins us for Till Death, Us Two Parts. But first, let's head to Mexico City for the full Liga Juan results and some Chairboys Spanish with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Barnsley 2, Leyton Orient 1, Blackpool 1, Oxford United 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Burton Albion 2, Cambridge United 0, Cheltenham Town 1, Carlisle United 0, Portsmouth 1, Derby County 1, Shrewsbury Town 1, Lincoln City 2, Fleetwood Town 1, Northampton Town 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Port Vale 2, Stevenage 2, Reading 2, Charlton Athletic 0, Wigan Athletic 1, Exeter City 2, Wycombe Wanderers 5, Peterborough United 2. So, Wycombe Wanderers have scored 12 goals in the last 3 games. So, Chairboys Spanish this week, it's raining goals, hallelujah, like the song, remember? So, the etymology of rain in Latin, pluvia, like pluvial in English. So, in Spanish we say lluvia, very similar to pluvial. So, it's raining goals. Están lloviendo goles. Lluvia, lloviendo. Raining, lloviendo. It's raining goals. Están lloviendo los goles. Aleluya. And the bonus track this week, we have 2. There were 2 own goals scored by Wycombe Wanderers. Well, Peterborough United scored 2 own goals. So how do we say own goal in Spanish? We say autogol. Autogol. It's very German to say own goal, right? Like autogol. So that's what we say it in Spanish. Autogol. Self-goal or own goal. Well, that's it for this week. And back to England with my amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Adios.
Chairboy Spanish with some German thrown in. Ich heiße super fantastisch. Thank you very much, Uri, as ever. Right then, on to Adams Park on Saturday. Peterborough United in town. They just love it at Adams Park. Here's what happened. Toby Large joined us on commentary. Vincent Young, left-hand side, he's inside the box, still going Vincent Young, cuts it back and it's there! Yes! Is that Kane Vincent Young's goal or has it come off a Peterborough player? But either way, it would not have happened without the silky feet of Kane Vincent Young. It's Wycombe Wanderers 1, Peterborough United 0. Long throw, headed back in by McCleary though, looking for Dale Taylor. Now Kone gets onto the loose ball on the right wing, Kone holds it up, back to McCleary, Wycombe Wanderers pressing at the end of this first half. Grimmer gets onto it. Finds Kone. Kone cuts it back. Grimmer! Yes! 2-2 for Jack Grimmer at the end of this first half stoppage time. Kone with the assist. And there's absolutely no doubt which part of the body that came off. The right boot of Jack Grimmer past the keeper. It's Wycombe Wanderers 2, Peterborough 0. Bila Kapic in trouble in the 6-yard area. Goal! Sadlier continues his fine record against the Posh. Bilakapic, calamity from the goalkeeper. His clearance landed at the feet of Sadlier, who curled it into the roof of the net with the keeper off his line, the defender despairingly trying to get back, and it's Wycombe 3, Peterborough United 0.
Well, what an introduction for the substitutes. Barely the baller just instantly closing his man down, forces the mistake. He looks in a little bit of pain for it, but that is brilliant work. And Kieran Sadlier makes no mistake. He loves cutting in onto his right foot, bends it into the far corner over the defenders. And what a start to the half this has been. And barely the baller, welcome to Adams Park. What a spark that has been since coming on.
Plenty to do from Sadlier, and he did it very well indeed. But like you say, Toby, Bowley Labala is a menace. Nice ball to Ajiboy on the right wing. Crosses charged down by Kane Vincent-Young. Ajiboy keeps it in play, runs at Vincent-Young again, twisting, turning, still going, decent run, goal! Fantastic stuff from David Ajiboy. He turned Vincent-Young inside out and then smashed the ball into the roof of the net past Max Strick to give Posh a lifeline in this one. 65 minutes gone, Wycombe Wanderers 3, Peterborough United 1. Ball into the box, cuts back and it is there. Peterborough right back in this now. Did Jones get the final touch or was it Burrows? 3-2, 2 goals in 3 minutes for the Posh. And Darren Ferguson's tactical switch is paying instant dividends.
Yeah, absolute acres of room over on the left-hand side for Peterborough, our right-hand side. The Peterborough fans are they're going wild behind the goal because they are right in this game now, and we've only got a 1-goal lead. What was 3 just 5 minutes ago or so? And yeah, Mothersill really made a big difference on that left-hand side. Jones bundling it home. If that isn't the sign that we've got to tighten up, I don't know what is.
Well. What a game we have here. Gareth McCleary with the corner for Wycombe Wanderers. Goes to the back post, they're lining up for it. Vokes, goal! What a substitution! His first touch of the game. Sam Vokes nods home from a Gareth McCleary pinpoint delivery. And how's that for football management? He was on the pitch for about 10 seconds. Wycombe 4, Peterborough 2.
Super Sam, the super sub, comes on, and just when we needed it more than anything, we were saying we needed another goal to try and see it out, and that is a substitute if you've ever seen one. Sam Vokes arrives at the back post, a perfect delivery from Gareth McCleary, who's taken the captain's armband and taken the responsibility to help drive us towards what would be an absolutely massive 3 points. Get in there, Sammy.
5th goal of the season for Sam Vokes. Gareth McCleary, the corner, inch perfect, doesn't do it justice, does it?
No, it really doesn't. That was proper in the right area, and there were men lining up for it. Taff was there, Joe Lowe was there. It was in the area where you want it to be, and Gareth McCleary, you are an absolute gem for that.
Folks, so it goes out for a throw, which Edwards takes quickly to Bilakapic. Oh, and he's given the ball away. David Wheeler hits the bar and scores. Thank you very much to the Peterborough keeper once more. David Wheeler slams it in emphatically off the underside of the crossbar, and that's Wycombe Wanderers 5, Peterborough United 2.
David Wheeler, take a bow, what a finish, crossbarring in. There's going to be tequila on tap tonight, Phil. It's going to be ringing around in the houses around High Wycombe. Those Peterborough fans are finding the exit behind the away goal. The Wycombe fans in the terrace going absolutely berserk. What a finish, Dave Wheeler, what a finish to this game. What a performance, Phil.
5-2. The crossbar's still shaking. He hit that with absolutely everything, David Wheeler. Gaffer, some game, where do we start?
I don't know. Yeah, obviously we knew that the threats that Peterborough were going to bring, even, they've got a couple of big players missing through injury, but we know that they've got players that can hurt you at any moment. So we, obviously had a real positive intention of trying to hurt them as well, because we knew that of what the threat they can bring. But I mean, what an afternoon, what a game, entertainment both ends. Would have been nice to, obviously keep tight second half, but Great impact from the subs. Some real good performances out there, real togetherness, camaraderie, and it's lovely to be, manager here when, feeling the atmosphere inside the ground, sharing a moment with the supporters at the end. It was obviously a very good day.
Some big decisions in there as well, and Kane Vincent-Young getting the nod at left back, and we have to go a long way back this afternoon to when the scoring started, but he was key to that first goal.
Yeah, he was. I think Kane's been very, very good since we've gone to a back four. Obviously, we brought him here as a wing back, but since we've gone to a four, he's had to be patient for his opportunity, but I think he's been very good, playing on both sides. Gives us that athleticism that we felt we needed today. There was a couple of big decisions to be made. Sam was carrying a bit of a tight calf this week just because of the amount of combating he had to do at Cheltenham last week, so we felt like it was the right game to put Rich in and give him his opportunity. So it's been a couple of sleepless nights, I'll be honest, this week, because when there's big decisions to be made and tough conversations, it's not easy, because I think the world of these boys. So but luckily for me today and luckily for us, they paid off.
And Jack Grimmer, like a London bus, 2 in 8 days.
Yeah, Jack's just an absolute diamond, isn't he? I think that he's an incredible person, I really do. I think he's a great leader, always puts the team first. I know I'm repeating myself, but he played centre-back last week and he was excellent. Put him back to full-back this week. He had a bit of a tight calf, so we had to take him off second half, so we need to make sure he's all right. But great finish, and really pleased for Jack, because like I say, he's Wycombe through and through, and he's just a real good player for us.
In amongst this is the business in the January transfer window now really coming home to roost. Now we're seeing there's options available across the pitch as well, and quality to add, and games to come as well, thick and fast.
Yeah, we knew that, with the schedule we've got coming up, we really knew that we needed to have competition for places and changes to be made during games, because, the games are running games in League One now. The athleticism needed is really, really high. So I think that'll probably, hopefully come to help us, because come Tuesday night, I feel like we're going to need to make changes. We've had a couple of knocks in there. So already you can see the competition for places. We've got players not even in the squad today who are very, very good footballers who are really going to, compete and contribute to the season. So, it's nice to get the win on the board today. The group's growing. I've got a huge belief in the group. They know that. It's nice to get a result today.
Emphatic finishes from Sadlier and Wheeler too.
Yeah, brilliant. Will's, again, been a huge player for his football club and has done great for us this season. Found himself not in the team, and what way to answer that than come on and have that kind of impact. And Vokesy, with, barely seconds on the pitch, comes on and has that kind of impact. These are big players for us, and we've missed lots of big players for big chunks of the season through injury. But everyone's getting themselves real going at the right time. And like I say, it's nice to hear the music on in there. It's nice for the boys to share this moment with the supporters at the end, because there is good competition for places. I've got massive faith in these boys, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do in this last part of the season.
What's it like as a manager when you put a sub on and then 10 seconds later he scores?
Yeah, it's nice, and we had Vokesy ready, and it was H to my left who went, let's do it now, and set piece, get him on Vokesy, because we know what threat he possesses. So I can't take full credit with that one. The staff, the guys I work with on a daily basis, they see the work that we all go through and the heartache at times. So it's nice for us to have a couple of good results in a row, but it just gives us more hunger, because we want more of these days like this. We've got a real tough game at Bolton on Tuesday evening, and we're going to have to rest the legs and make sure we've got a plan, because they're a very, very good team. But it's nice to enjoy today and get ready for that.
Momentum is key in sport, and it was a daunting run of fixtures, but with that win today and the performance, everyone must be chomping at the bit for Tuesday already.
Absolutely. I think we've got to be careful. We can't get too ahead of ourselves. We know that this game can bite you on the arse when you're least expecting it, so we have to come with a real degree of humility and hard work. But that's how we conduct ourselves, try and be level as much as we possibly can. But momentum is huge, and the boys are in a good spot, and we have to continue that as long as we can.
Peterborough really played their part today as well. What were your feelings at 3-0 and then 3-2?
Better at 3-0 than 3-2. Darren's, I've got huge respect and admiration for Darren because of the job he's done over a number of years, and this job's, it's a tough gig, and someone who's done it year in, year out and had incredible success. He's been a real big help for me in my early part of my career, someone who I can pick up the phone to, and he's got an incredible team at Peterborough. I know they've had a tough week, but they've got some incredible players. He does a great job there. They dominate the ball. They make you, they kind of hurt you at real incisive moments. I think it's a real big win for us, because we know that Peterborough are one of the best teams in the league, and to have a day at home in front of our supporters like that is really special. 40 on Thursday. Are you going to celebrate the birthday tomorrow? No, I think I celebrated it enough on Wednesday, if I'm honest. So Yeah, I've got another day at home with the girls tomorrow. You know, spending time with Mads and the girls is massive to me, because they're there and they see me at the down bits as well as the good bits. So we'll be home. We're already been planning ready for Tuesday night. We need to make sure we're ready to go. The boys need to enjoy this moment over the weekend. Come in with a spring in their step Monday morning. We'll go up to Bolton and see if we can go and put on another good show.
Vokesy, first and foremost, a great game and a great team performance.
It was, yes, great for team performance, coming off the back of obviously Cheltenham last week. It was important we came back home and put a great shift in against the team flying high at the minute in Peterborough. So for us, it was a big game for us coming back, and back-to-back wins is huge for us at the minute.
And lots of goals as well.
Lots of goals, which is always good, especially our way. And yeah, no, it was good. I think we played some exciting football today. Looked dangerous on the attack, and obviously 5 goals to show for it is great.
I don't know what the stats are on people who come off the bench and score immediately, but is it your goal?
100%. Don't know why there's any debate. No, I was coming on, and the corner got given, and I said, and Harry, to be fair, rushed it through the goalkeeping coach, and I was like, yeah, get me on. So yeah, GMAC overhit his corner, and I managed to find it at the back stick. So yeah, no, of course it's my goal. Take it all day.
It was a big moment to come on as well, because from 3-0 to then 3-2 with 2 rapid goals from Peterborough, that was a crucial part of the game.
It was, yeah. We always knew the threat they've got going forward. And look, we were doing well to be 3-0 up, but it's always tough when a team that have got that many attacking options as they have put it on you. And look, we were gutted to concede those 2 goals, but I think you've seen the reaction. And we might not have had that grit and determination in the end to keep going and get another 2. So yeah, good from the lads.
Some real momentum now over the last 3 games, some goals flying in. How's the dressing room now?
Yeah, great. Boys are buzzing. Playing with confidence, I think you see today. Taking it 2 teams now, and like I say, 3 wins on the bounce, 2 in the league, 2 huge results, and yeah, we're fighting. It's enjoyable.
And the new faces settled in well?
Really well, yeah, which is important in January, because it's always a tough window for lads to come in. Look to have settled in. Yeah, a couple of them started, and a few lads came off the bench today, and as you can see, I think they fitted right in. So yeah, they believe in what we're doing, and yeah, exciting going forward. So
dubious goal panel. I think Gareth McCleary's got their number if you need to speak to them.
Well, yeah, I'm sure Gareth's got it. Yeah, he probably wants the assist as well, so he's probably more on the phone than I am. But yeah, we'll fight for it.
Speed dial 1. So Peterborough's awful record at Adams Park continues, and not even the posh fans could blame Wycombe for the result. These are unprecedented times. It's the opposition view. Gary, the humanist.
It's great when you have a goalkeeper who gets 2 assists and 1 goal in a single game. It's just a bit of a shame when the assist and the goal was the team you're playing against.
Matt Meacham.
Taking Bilo off and leaving the goal open would almost have been better.
Ryan Clark, 82.
I don't want to be accused of being Captain Ironside, but it really shouldn't be the case that an entire fan base can see that a goalkeeper is a total liability and be in favour of replacing him with the other, more experienced keeper at the club, and yet the manager persists with the existing one. We didn't need to lose 3 points today to learn this lesson. We already knew. I almost wish Fergie could coach the team during the week, which he's clearly excellent at, but then let somebody else take charge between the first and last whistle.
Nathan.
What an effing disgraceful performance. We sign a championship quality keeper, but oh no, Fergie doesn't play him because he's an effing child who holds grudges. We were screaming out for a new right back, but oh no, we didn't get one because Poundland had run out of them when Dara went shopping. How have we just fallen apart after the run we were on? How have we come out of the transfer window this effing week? The second half of the season is going to be so painful.
Jack Lenton.
Today was completely on Fergie. We can't complain about the first half of the season, but we have every right to complain about it being thrown away in the space of a week because he can't make competent decisions.
Nick.
Honestly, As well as the 3 goals he completely gifted to Wycombe, Bilo should have done much, much better with the other 2 as well. He's a complete liability and has no place in a team looking for promotion. He may come good in time, but right now, he's utter crap.
Fleetwood, Zach.
My dead grandma could have put in a better goalkeeping performance than Bilo, and she used to be a winger.
Lee, Laz.
I didn't realise Wycombe had signed Bilo K-Pick on deadline day. The bloke has had an absolute shocker today.
Pio.
Does Bilo get the match ball for his hat-trick of screw-ups? There's no point in giving it to him. He'd only drop it. A professional goalkeeper just can't make mistakes like that in nearly every game.
Kioso Magic.
This is what happens when every other team uses January to strengthen their squad, whilst we sit on our arses and allow the sale of our best player. The automatic places are gone now for sure.
Toby Wood.
The Chairboys hardly had to leave their chairs.
Right, it's that time in the show, till death us do part. When you choose your football club, they are yours for life. There's no turning back. And you have to stick through the good times and the bad times. So it's exactly like a marriage. And to join us on this feature this week is Wycombe Wanderers fan Adam Cooper. Adam, how are you?
All right, thanks. How are you?
Very well indeed. Looking forward to getting your memories on this one. First and foremost, when did your journey with our beloved football club begin?
Yeah, I'm told that when I was very young, sort of 3, 4, I made a couple of games at Luke's Park. Obviously, don't have much of a memory of those. The first one that I really, really remember was probably the Preston game at Wembley, or the Runcorn game. Both of those like really stick out in my mind. And then I started going sort of avidly home and away in about 94, 95. So I remember my first away game at Peterborough. I think that was the day that Mickey Bell made his debut. And then haven't looked back. So we're with just about 30 years this year.
Fantastic. And people who listen to all the audio output around Wycombe Wanderers are going to recognise your voice because you are also on the Heroes of HB12, right?
I am, yeah. Yeah, it was something that I never really planned to do. And Michael, who runs the pod, put out a little advert and said, "Can anybody help us?" And I thought, it'll only be one episode. I'll go on and give my 2 pence worth. And here we are, nearly a year later. It's going really well. Yeah, it's very, very enjoyable. It's quite hard. You know, it's like when you've supported a football club for so long. It's quite hard being measured and positive and saying the same thing as people want to hear as much as you can, as I'm sure you're aware doing your job. But no, it's good fun. The boys are really good. I've known Damo, who also does it for best part of 25 years. Then obviously you got Dan bringing his little bit of northern spirit to it as well. So yeah, it's all good. Great fun.
I think it's fantastic to have fans talking about it independently. Every week I listen to the version of every club has a version of that sort of podcast where fans are really talking in depth. And I find it fascinating for my commentary research, listening to fans of other clubs, because you learn a lot more than you do from reading the local press and listening to
That's it, yeah,
or the managers. You find out, you get the real inside line from the fans.
Yeah, exactly right. I think, look, this isn't about, we've had a tough time recently. There's no hiding from it. And this isn't about coming out on a podcast and saying how wonderful everything is. The kind of look that we wanted to go for was like 4 blokes chatting in a pub. And, you know, perhaps taming the language back a little bit, but just saying it exactly as we see it. And sometimes we get things nailed on, and other times, you know, we have people messaging us on Twitter going, "Oh, you were wrong about that. I told you when we signed him." So it doesn't always go your way. But look, if people are enjoying what we're doing, we're getting loads of really good feedback. If people are enjoying it, then great. And like you say, I think it just gives everybody a different angle of the club. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on from other supporters. who perhaps aim at the younger demographic. And I'm of that age where I'm a bit of a technophobe. And for me, it's just really easy to press play on a podcast and listen to them when I'm on my travels with work. So yeah, I love the podcast. Um, it's a good time to vent, and we don't record it until a Wednesday. So unless there's a Tuesday night match that's gone disastrously wrong, you've normally sort of calmed down a bit from the previous Saturday.
I was going to say it'd be a very different podcast if you recorded it. I would say 5 o'clock, but we're invariably still playing at 5 o'clock. So if I said if you hit record at 5:15, then there might be a bit more swearing than you thought.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. Or weekend just gone, there might have been quite a lot of swearing because I think we were all on cloud nine. But yeah, look, that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, we don't all agree all the time, but ultimately we're all here for the same reason. And if we can all make it a little bit more enjoyable for everybody along the way, then great.
You've got one benefit from a lot of fans who've sort of joined the party in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe. You said you've been sort of around the club about 30 years, and we've gone through a tough time recently. But when you get to our age, we know that the tough times don't last, and also we've known tougher times than what we felt this season.
Oh, absolutely. It hasn't been tough this season at all compared to some of the dross that we've seen on and off the pitch. To be completely honest with you, like I've been in and around the club for ages. You know, I worked there for Mike Phillips doing the old 50-50 draw tickets back in the day.
Fantastic.
I used to do a bit of reporting for the Buck's Press. Obviously, I've done the podcast, and now my little one's massively into it. He stands outside and gives all the players sweets after every game, home and away. So you kind of see it from all different perspectives. And look, for those fans who have only been around for like 5 or 6 years, believe me, we've got a really good group of lads here. And results are always going to be up and down when you've got a young manager. But, you know, some of the stuff that we saw, particularly sort of that mid-90s after O'Neill departed, around your Smileys and your Smiths, it made this look like watching Real Madrid. So yeah, just be careful what you wish for.
Your son is 7 now, you were saying. What's it like now seeing him falling in love with the club? Are you getting some deja vu moments from when you were his age?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, you know it only too well, but you know, when you have kids, your kind of perspective on life changes. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm not going to force it on him. I'm not going to force it on him. And then I found myself taking my missus for a romantic weekend to the Peak District when Wycombe were playing Doncaster away, so I could nip over there with him at 6 months old. And and you know, he's been hooked ever since. That was his first ever game. And yeah, he absolutely loves it. And when the going does get a bit tough, you know, it has been difficult the last few months, but do you know what? He's loved every minute of it. He doesn't even really necessarily care what the score is. He loves going down there. He loves supporting them. And I think that's a really good skill for kids to learn, you know, the fact that it's not always going to go your way. But, you know, at the end of the day, these lads on the pitch, they're human beings as well. And, you know, it's all very well voicing your opinion when it's bad, but actually being able to be positive and be level-headed when it's bad is an important life skill. So yeah, he's the over-enthusiastic redhead giving sweets out to the players after every game.
Well, I think we've just ticked off a first for any podcast by using the words romantic weekend and Doncaster in the same sentence. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. So that's a box ticked.
Fortunately for me, it wasn't until about 3 weeks after I'd booked it that she realised where Wycombe were playing. So the tickets were booked, the Airbnb was booked. You know, it was too late to go back. But
The obvious question is, are you still together? Are you still married?
We are, yeah, still married. Still going strong.
You're some sort of magician. Right, let's get stuck into the podcast then. We start off with something old, and that is your favourite ever memory involving Wycombe Wanderers. And it could be anything to do with our club.
Having kids really changes your perspective. And I think for me, like the two things that really stick out, the first one was when Littleham was mascot. It was only last season against Exeter on a family day. And he's not a child. He likes being left on his own. So when Elaine and Steph said, you know, leave him with us, I was a bit worried. And I saw him after he'd been out on the pitch, and he was absolutely buzzing. He'd been watching the early kickoff with Jason McCarthy and playing FIFA with some of the boys. And, you know, just to see the camaraderie. And then, you know, Vokesy came out and made a real fuss of him afterwards. And just to see the look on his face and how much he'd enjoyed it was was incredible. And the other one again is around Litherland. Just went up to Sunderland away, which at the time was the biggest ground that he'd been to. It was obviously a long journey up there, and just his little face when he stepped out of the concourse into this absolutely massive stadium. That his little Wycombe, we're not allowed to say little Wycombe Wanderers since Gaz has been here, have we? But that his little team from Buckinghamshire had would be playing a league game at a stadium like that, and it kind of blew his mind. And like I say, he didn't really care about the result. I think we lost 3-0 that game, but just sort of stood there and stared in awe. Yeah, I mean, I've got loads of memories, like we all have over time, some really silly ones, some that probably aren't repeatable on this type of media, and some really emotional ones. But I think when you have kids, it just really puts things into perspective. And the fact that he's loving it and he's on the journey with me is something that I hold really dearly. So yeah, I think they're the two memories that will always stick with me.
Brilliant, and a special shout out as well to Elaine and Steph, who do an amazing job looking after the mascots. And every kid I've ever seen it has just been smiling from ear to ear, and they love the experience. If you've got little ones, definitely worth checking the service out for the football mascot at Wycombe Wanderers. Right then, on to something new. Now, this is your favourite player in the current squad, and that decision's got even more difficult in the last 4 weeks.
The full package, and this is probably a really boring answer for you, because I know a few people have said him, but it's got to be Luke. I just think everything about him. I think his leadership skills, what he does on the pitch. Even when he's not, he hasn't had many bad games, but even when he's not been up to his normal standards, he's putting 100% in. He expects it out of everybody else, and most importantly for this football club, the nicest bloke you could ever wish to meet.
Absolutely.
Such a nice guy, such a nice family. And I think he is everything that this football club stands for. And it kind of makes you, it sounds a bit sad really about a new player, but it makes you so proud when somebody like that, is trudging out in the blue quarters, knowing that, he'll quite literally at some points, thanks to his mate Josh, put his neck on the block for the club. And I think that's a really, really big thing at a club of our size. So yeah, I think current favourite at the moment has to be Luke.
I felt a bit bad on Saturday because he was put down onto the bench, and last week he was on with Henning Vane, and they were talking. He was talking to him about what's it like being on the bench.
I heard it, yeah.
And he was like, "You haven't been on it very much." And then I saw Luke on Saturday. And he says, "Does the gap listen to the podcast?" I was like, "I don't think he does, so it's not my fault, honest." And then I thought, I hope he doesn't.
Brilliant.
Yeah, another vote for Luke Lee, who I think is in the lead this season. I need to start making a spreadsheet, but I'm fairly sure. I think that's his third or even maybe fourth mention of in this feature this season. Right, this takes us on to something borrowed. Now, this is either your favourite loanee or player that you wish we signed that we never did, no matter how controversial.
I'm going to go down the route of favourite loan player. And for me, it's got to be Stephen Taylor.
Yeah.
Like, very, very rarely at this level do you see a player. We had it a little bit with like Defoe when he was at Bournemouth. Do you remember how good he was playing against us for Bournemouth? But very rarely do you see a player at this level who has so much control over a football match, and to do that as a centre-back is absolutely incredible. He didn't play that many games for us either. It was like 6 or 8 games I think he played for us.
Yeah.
I remember him coming as this young centre-back and bossing the game, being played out at left back, because we were so short. And I think when you take a player like that, you never expect to keep him. But it's so interesting just to see the golfing class between the squad that we had at the time and this, young lad who's strolling in. I think it was Newcastle he came from, wasn't it? Strolling in from Newcastle's academy, and he was just class. And I guess that falls into the other heading as well. He would have been the one for me that I've ever seen in a blue quarter that if we could have signed him by some absolute freak, it would have been amazing. He was. I remember him just doing laps of the pitch after every match. He's come on loan for 6 games and he's doing a lap of honour at the end to applaud all the supporters. What a guy! Really, really good footballer. And really fond memories of him playing at the back, solid as a rock. I would have taken him for longer in a heartbeat. I think he went on to do better things.
He did do very well, didn't he? And I think we all knew what was going to happen as well when we'd seen him play. Do you think that it was just because it was just a small amount of games? It kind of even underlines the sort of the cult hero status of him, because we never got to see him have a bad game or a red card or anything like that. So it was just basically, it was just all sunshine and flowers, wasn't it? At that
Yeah,
point?
exactly right. And I think, yeah, he was so far ahead of everybody else at that stage as well. You know, no disrespect to some of the players who were playing back then. I think most of them would probably put their hand up and be the first to agree that he was just something a little bit special. But like you say, it was such kind of a short, sharp introduction. We didn't get to see the bad side of it. And, you know,
What I love about people, like Stephen, and we had it with Eze and Mawson initially as well, and I'm sure there's a few more that we could add to that list. It's just as soon as they sort of cross the white line and they get their first touch, even us mere mortals as fans who don't sort of understand the game as technically as coaches or other players do, we just know, don't we? Because they just
yeah,
all of a sudden, there's something about them, the
it's
way
that
their
first
body
touch,
language, that first touch,
yeah.
the amount of time they seem to have. I mean, Potty's got that ability as well.
Mm.
And, it's just wonderful, isn't it, when you think, oh, he's a player.
Yeah, well, funny enough, you should mention Potsy actually, 'cause the bloke who sits behind me in a family stand, he loves to have a moan about everyone and everything. And he shouted at Potsy on Saturday. He said, "Potts, you're just standing in there, not doing anything." And the reason he looked like he was standing there, not doing anything, was because nobody knew what he was going to do. He just looks like he's got so much time, so good on the ball, so calm, so collected. That first touch, you know, even under pressure at that age is incredible. And to be fair, he's probably the one that's closest to Stephen Taylor. Just with that little bit of class about him, little bit of bite. Yeah, I think Eze was absolutely incredible when he came, but he's much more of a flair player. But yeah, I think Potsy's probably the closest that we've had to that sort of bitey, aggro, you know, annoying sort of defensive player since Stephen Taylor. And you know, that's a hell of a compliment, because there's been some good players that have come through the doors at Wycombe.
Yeah, well, having watched the West Ham Arsenal game yesterday, I'm very happy that the window's closed, because I think West Ham they could probably have done with him
absolutely,
over the weekend. Right, this brings us on to something blue. Now, this could be either your favourite ever piece of Wycombe Wanderers merchandise, or we could probably do both. And your best idea for a piece of merchandise that the club has never done and is missing out on.
Yeah, so my favourite, I mean, I've got loads of cool stuff from over the years. I was lucky enough to get to know Jason Cousins quite well. Got a few bits that he gifted me, some quite cool stuff. I think my favourite thing is the. Do you remember they did the Claus Quebec watch?
Yes, yeah.
20 odd years ago. I've still got that. And that's one of my favourite things. And Little Man has got some really cool memorabilia as well. And Franco gave him his gloves, and you know, he's got signed shirts and God knows what else. Got like a shrine to Matt Bloomfield in his bedroom, bless him. But yeah, I think the watch is the favourite. I was racking my brains for ages thinking what the club shop could sell, and I couldn't think of anything. So knowing that I was doing this, I asked him. Like every self-respecting adult does, they put it in the hands of a 7-year-old.
What could possibly go wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. He came up with two ideas, one which I think is actually all right and one which I think is bizarre. But the first one was, you know, these like oversized warm hoodies that you can buy now. I think they're called hoodies or snuddies or something.
Yeah.
One of those in a Wycombe Wanderers kit, but you turn it inside out and it's got the away kit on the other side.
Nice.
Which I thought was quite cool. His other idea, so he's mad on darts as well. His other idea was a Wycombe Wanderers dartboard and darts. So it's light blue and dark blue instead of red and green. But instead of a bullseye, you can choose what badge you want. You can have a Colchester badge, an Oxford badge, or an MK badge. And he thought that was quite a cool idea. So I told him that I would that I'd share that with you.
I like this idea. We can perhaps combine it with a suggestion from another fan from about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Darren Keeping. He wanted a picture of Tony Adams on a dartboard. So maybe there could be like a sort of a faint hologram. You could even choose your favourite Alan Smith, whoever, some favourite sort of, you know, or even sort of villains, you know, a Joey Barton, a Roy McDonough, whoever.
Yeah.
You know, just to add it on there too. But I love this idea, especially the badge in the middle of, you know, I'm not sure if they could print enough MK Dons bullseyes, but who knows?
No, I thought that was quite inventive for a 7-year-old. So yeah, they would be my ideas. But yeah, like I say, the watch the watch came out. It was like my 18th birthday, I think. And when you're 18, what more do you want than something that reminds you of the football club that's let you down for the previous 18 years in your life? And I think they gave the squad ones out to like number 36. So it was like squad and staff, and I got number 37. So whatever the number was after the last player or staff member, I got the next one.
Fantastic. Do you wear it at games?
Occasionally, yeah. Nowadays, we're in a day of smartwatches and stuff like that, it tends to stay in its box more than it does. But if there's a really big game where I'm feeling particularly superstitious, it'll come out the box, and yeah, I'll be wearing it.
I was wondering because if Wycombe have got like a slender lead going into the 90th minute, does it seem to click a bit slower than it should?
I think we've all got quite used to that over the last sort of over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, haven't we? But yeah, I haven't noticed. I'll have to get it out the box and try it at Bolton tomorrow.
Brilliant. Well, safe journey tomorrow for Bolton away. It's a big week for Wycombe. We made a great start against Peterborough. Hopefully that continues on a Tuesday night, and then we've got our local rivals or neighbours. We can't call them rivals; they get upset. Our noisy neighbours up the M40, Oxford United, on Saturday at Adams Park. So a big week, and after that, just got the small matter of a cup semi-final. So it's all happening, isn't it?
Yeah, big couple of weeks. Like you say, Saturday, Oxford. It's weird how the Peterborough and Oxford games have come around together, isn't it? We really needed those because there seem to be two clubs who we've done really well against recently, with even when our form's not been great. So and then sandwiched in between it, what bigger challenge could you ask for than going up there and pitting your wits against some of the best players in the division? And look, Bolton are flying. There's lots of links with their owner and the family and our club. I think they quite like us because we really looked after them when they were down in the doldrums. So it'll be an interesting game. And if we can come away from there with something, it's a great result, isn't it? Let's be completely right tomorrow. If the performance is turgid and we walk away with a 0-0 draw, we're all absolutely delighted. So, looking forward to it. And then, like you say, the semi-final the week after, big couple of weeks, maybe a trip to Wembley.
Great stuff, Adam. Now, if you'd like to take part in Till Death Us Do Part, email media@wwfc.com. Right, that's your lot for this week. We'll be back next time with news of our home game against Oxford United. In the meantime, come on, you Blues.